Hey everyone, welcome back to Podcast for Your Life. This is Jason, and I've got Jam here today.
Hey.
And we are going to be talking today about amusement parks. So what is an amusement park?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think amusement parks, for the most part, are just a category of park. It's kind of like a fair, but the difference is that sometimes they have a specific theme to them. Like, for instance, SeaWorld has the sea ocean type thing, but it is an amusement park, and it does have rides, but its biggest thing is not the rides. Or you have something like Six Flags, or you have water parks or whatever. All those fall under the category of amusement park, and I think the whole idea of it is that, like a generic, neighborhood park, you go there and you can do a lot of different things. Amusement parks, it's kind of like Parks 2.0 or whatever. It's like you come here, you can do a lot of things. It can be rides, it can be this, it can be that, but it's like a one-stop shop for your amusement.
Yeah, amusement. I think that's a key word in figuring out what an amusement park is. But I think it's something that you can't really see or get elsewhere.
Right.
It's going to this place that has a bunch of different little stations or rides or things you can see that you can't get elsewhere. And I mean, I guess some could argue that like a zoo is an amusement park, but we define zoos in a different episode.
Yeah.
So I have to go back and listen to that to figure out zoos.
Yeah, I guess it could count. You can make an argument, but I think...
Because, I mean, SeaWorld is almost a zoo for water animals.
Right, but there is like a performance aspect to it.
Sure.
That is kind of like that next level. At a zoo, you are just like seeing animals they're just doing whatever they do. Amusement park, it's like it is promising that you will be amused. Zoos, they're not making any promises.
Most zoos, that's right. Yeah, amusement parks, when I think of amusement parks, I think of roller coasters, fun foods, a mine train, although I guess that's also a roller coaster. Mostly roller coasters.
And I think zoos don't really have this, but amusement parks almost always have a pretty big food aspect to them. Whether you're at SeaWorld or Six Flags, something like that. The food thing is a big deal. There's pretty clear, purposeful approach to food, and there's like certain types of food that you kind of associate with these types of places.
Sure.
Just like fair food, but a little bit different. Like I know that at typical amusement parks, you can get something like a funnel cake. You can get something like a turkey leg or whatever. Things that you wouldn't really just be able to have on a week-to-week basis or whatever.
Yeah, I think like maybe the original amusement parks probably were like a fair that stayed like all year round or like all summer long or something like that, compared to it travels or it's only one week out of the year or something like that. I think it's probably like a permanent fair in a sense.
In the amusement park that's trying to sort of do it all, everything that could fall under the category, period.
Yeah.
Disney World or Land or both of them
totally amusement parks
are trying to do almost everything that could fall into the category of amusement, like even to the point of like almost being an entire city, it would seem. But they have like animals, they've got rides, they've got activities, they've got food, they've got gift shops, they've got it all kind of.
It's like a whole new world. What would you say are some of your like growing up memories of amusement parks? Did you guys do that like growing up? Did you go?
We did, yeah. So we would go to Six Flags. It was about 3 hours from our house, the one in Arlington. And so we'd go there on trips. I remember going as a kid and it being pretty awesome. And I was mostly interested in anything Looney Tunes related. There's a lot of that kind of stuff at the Six Flags. And so I remember like getting a picture with the Bugs Bunny in the costume kind of thing.
Wow.
And I had a Bugs Bunny t-shirt. My brother and I both got one.
Huge fan.
And I thought, like, this is incredible. I met Bugs Bunny. Like,
the bunny.
I met him. Most people haven't met him, but I did, was my takeaway. And I remember, like, some of the water rides, and I remember loving this ride that was, like, Yosemite Sam. You're going through the mines, the cavern kind of thing or whatever. And it wasn't even really a ride, I guess, because it was a ride, but it wasn't thrilling at all. There was no thrill aspect.
The thrill was low, but you were younger, so maybe for you it was like...
Yes, yeah. Thrill was low, but it seemed really cool because you're just in a cave. So I guess when you're a kid, being in a cave is thrilling.
being on a moving thing, a moving thing on wheels.
When things would pop up, like different characters from Looney Tunes would pop up and stuff, and that kind of scares you, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
It just surprises you, and I remember loving that. And I remember I remember being so tired, like my feet would be tired from walking all day and stuff, and it was so hot. So I had some good memories, but like also some. Early on, I had a really realistic idea of what amusement parks were like. Super hot, sweaty, uncomfortable.
Yep.
And your feet hurt.
I think we're getting a really good picture of amusement parks. It's a hot, sweaty place with lots of food, lots of rides, lots of things to see, a couple of scares, and you get really tired.
And somehow it doesn't matter what time of the year you go. You're going to get hot and sweaty somehow.
Especially in Texas. So Jam and I have both lived in Texas for at least the past 10 years.
The state, not the country.
State, yeah. The state, not the country of Texas. The city of Texas, actually. Just kidding. So every time we would go, for the most part, it was always smoldering hot.
Yes.
Like I just remember looking at the temperature and being like, okay, it's going to be 90 degrees today. It's going to be hot. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be hot. And some of the things we would do would be to freeze water bottles, because they let you take like water bottles and not other drinks, just like water bottles.
Yeah.
So we would actually take like, water bottles you get from the grocery store and freeze them so that the whole day they're like defrosting because it's so hot outside. And you just get like this icy cold water throughout the day.
That's genius.
And then it's also really expensive to get water in the park. So.
Oh yeah.
So it was smart on two levels.
Yeah, if you're a whole family, then there's no way, unless you bring a lot of stuff yourself, there's no way you're getting in and out cheap. It's like everything costs an arm and a leg. So
Yep.
So I had different phases, I would say. As a kid, it was one type of memory, type of experience at amusement parks. And then I started going when I was like in late middle school and high school. My younger brother and my cousin and I would go almost every summer, which was actually, it was a lot of fun. That was probably a good year, good age range or whatever to do that again, because we would go and we didn't have to have parents there with us or whatever. We'd just get dropped off and picked up.
Yeah, I remember those days too.
Yeah. And so I remember enjoying it, but I remember like one thing that would be added in was like, it's so easy to get dehydrated. Like you just said about the bring water bottles.
Yeah.
So I remember I would have a headache like off and on throughout the day. So I could go get like rehydrated and stuff. And then you're riding rides, you have stuff with you. It makes it hard to like, do you keep your stuff in a backpack? Do you put it in these cubbies? Do you put it in a locker? All this stuff that makes it really difficult. And here's what ended up being the real kicker for me on amusement parks is that unless you just get super lucky, you're going to wait in line at least half the time.
Yeah, or more.
If not more.
Well, because like the roller coaster rides are like 5 minutes, right? Like at most 5 minutes.
I would say the most, but yeah, most of them are way shorter. They may feel longer or whatever, but most of the rides are very short.
And they have like, at least the places we've gone to, they have like in the line, it kind of like weaves and stuff. It will give you like estimated wait time from this point, 30 minutes, And yeah, dude, seriously, the amusement parks are not getting good rap on this show. It's like you wait in line a lot and you're in the hot heat and you're dehydrated and it costs money. It's like you're paying to stand in line for a 5-minute amusement.
It's the last time I was at one was in high school. So now it's been at least, like I would say it's been at least 10 years since I've been to one, okay? But that's been on purpose now because like I realized, man, I just don't want to go. Like, yeah, the rides are, cool. And certainly there's a feat of engineering going on there. But I think about all the other things and it just is not the waiting, the heat, then all that stuff. And this is when I realized I was like an adult or maybe an old man, is that I realized all the waiting and the heat and everything like that does not outweigh the potential fun that you could get from going on a ride. For me, it's obviously everyone teach their own. For me, it's not even close.
Yeah, for you, the cost benefit analysis was very much leaning on the cost side.
Yeah, the return on the investment is a negative one. So
for you,
I lose out. Yeah,
I hear you. Yeah, they're fun. I think I'm in the same boat. I don't think I've gone to amusement parks for a while, and that's been intentionally. Like people I know who are around our age have gone. Like they've been like, "Hey, you should come. We're gonna go to Six Flags on Saturday," and I've been like, "Oh, I don't know. I just don't feel like the pull that I did when I was, 14, 15, when I was so much fun to go in there." But I will say, recently we were able to go to kind of a retro amusement park. We were visiting some friends in Iowa, and there's a amusement park that's open during kind of the summer there, and it's free to go in and like walk around and see things, but you do pay per ride. So it's kind of like that versus hey, I need to, get $35 and you get the whole park or whatever.
Got it. Okay.
So it's cool because then it's like only the ones that are super popular are the ones that like have lines and the rest aren't that bad. So but we went on a old wooden roller coaster that was super fun and it wasn't too super sketch. And that was the first roller coaster I've been on in a long time, like 10 years. And I was like, man, this is fun, but it also is a little terrifying that this thing is literally just running on wooden slats.
Yeah.
It's like I'm at the point where it's like the fun of it is still there.
Yeah.
And I still enjoy it, but there also is that element of this thing could like fly off.
Right.
How does this thing not fly off?
Yeah, and is it worth the risk at all? It is. The statistics are pretty in our favor in terms of safety. It's there's very few incidents that happen with roller coasters, and we have a lot of high standards for that in our country, which is good. So, but it's like, is it worth the risk?
At one time,
Like there's risk. Obviously, there's risk in driving for injury or whatever.
Sure.
If you just drive your car, but there's a necessity for it depending on what your life situation is.
Yeah.
When it comes to amusement parks, there's not a necessity for it. You don't have to ride a roller coaster to get to work. So
you're voluntarily putting yourself on that rocket ship. One last thing about that trip. We went with a couple of friends who didn't, including my wife, who didn't enjoy roller coasters as much as I did or do, I guess. And roller coasters, there's a lot of people who are afraid of them. And that's fine. It's kind of a healthy fear if you think about it.
Right. It's like listening to your instincts is probably good in most situations like roller coasters. Yeah.
Seriously, yeah. So anyway, we get on this roller coaster and it goes around and it was probably like a 60-second ride. It was pretty quick, but it was, it was like a little bit of thrills up and down and turns and stuff like that. So with these small places, you could potentially go around as many times as you want. There wasn't a line. The roller coaster train wasn't full. So these people who operate the roller coasters are kind of just like, you guys want to go around again? You know, and the kids are on the ride like, yeah, let's go again. And they only paid like $5 for it. So it's great. They can go around like 30 times.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, isn't it? So anyway, we get back to the station and the people who are on our train, like the kids were like, we want to go again, do it again, do it again. And the guy who's operating the ride is like, okay, we'll do it again. But two of my friends who were sitting in front of us were like, no, we want to get off. We want to get off. Because they didn't like it after the first time, which is understandable. It was kind of jolting. But anyway, it starts taking off from the station. And our friends are like, no, please. Like, no. Like, I have never seen such fear in a long time. And I'm like, that's how a lot of folks feel about roller coasters. So I admire their bravery for getting on in the first place. They went through, they got through, we all got through safely. But that one was enough. One time was out there like, nope, please get me off. I don't want to do the free. Just keep going around until they cut us off. So
yeah, it's like, I'll pay that money again to get off, please.
That's right.
One thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is like, okay, the things I don't love about roller coasters or amusement parks in general, all the things that come with it.
Yeah.
I already don't like those things enough to where I don't want to go myself, or I don't want to go with just my wife and I. But then I'm thinking, okay, in the future, when kids are part of the picture, that gives you 20,000 more reasons why you don't want to go to an amusement park. So I've made it very clear. I've already sat my wife down and told her, listen, we're never going to go to an amusement park, no matter how much our kids want to. We're never, ever going to Disney World, ever. So I'm just trying to prep her because she might be the one that want to cave when we do have kids and they are, begging and stuff.
I hear your future children already crying, already whining, saying, Daddy, please take us to these amusement parks.
Yeah.
Dang. It's okay.
They'll know someday, I'll drop them off at one, like once they're in high school, and I'll be like, all right, see ya. And then they'll experience it like I did, and they'll get to a point where they're become an old person in their 20s, and then they realize it's not worth it, and then they will hopefully forgive me.
Yeah. Wow. Little Jam Jr., he's going to be a disappointed kid.
Or Jamantha. She's going to be...
Jamantha?
Yeah, she's going to be pretty...
Oh, right.
Disappointed.
I guess Jam Jr. could be a girl's name, too. So.
That's true.
Well, I don't know. What's the verdict of amusement parks? It sounds like we're kind of like whatever.
Yeah, we're kind of like whatever, but I'm kind of like, please no, don't make me go. Also, this has been a really weird episode, but hey, whatever. You know?
It happens. It's kind of just like a bunch of random thoughts. We're kind of like all over the place. It's like up and down, like a roller coaster.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, thanks.
Great way to put it.
Amusement parks. Yeah.
Amusement parks. Come in happy, leave hot and sweaty.
That's good. I think that's good, Jam. We'll end with that one. Thanks, guys, for listening. And thanks for voting in our poll, even though it was a tie. Just go ahead and vote again or get your friends to vote on the one that you thought was the best idea. And we'll try to do it next time.
And if you notice there's a tie, you could, maybe unvote, and that might help.
That's also a way to rig the voting. So, cool. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.